Hi, my name is Ann, and today we're going to be doing a quick commentary of a Sword and Shield speedrun on regular Arkveld. This is just a 3-star Arkveld investigation that I rolled in an arena that I thought would be pretty fun to do a run in, so yeah, we just went for it. I'll be pausing the video to stop and explain some things as we go, going over the set that I chose to use, the set that I will be choosing to use in the future, showing you some sets you may want to consider using yourself, while also explaining my general approach to the scripting, how I'm reacting to the monster, and my overall thoughts about how I'm going to be using the weapon against him. So hopefully we can all learn from this, including myself, because I made plenty of mistakes here too. I do all of these videos in one take using OBS screen capture, so if the quality is a little bad or I have to like stop and talk over things again, please bear with me. And with all that intro out of the way, let's just get straight into it with the most obvious question I get asked a ton is, what set are you using? So here is that set. Ta-da! It's just 4-piece Goro with stacked weakness exploit. And I'm running ambush over max might so that my affinity is just going to hit 100% with corrupted mantle. I don't need that much max might. And in the context of a speed run, ambush is just like really, really, really strong. So that's why it's a little bit different. I'm running this flash jewel because like I don't know like what else to put in the one slot, and I have to flash the monster at some point in the run. So it's just like here, I don't know what it does. If you're playing casually, you should instead just run like Shockproof here or something like that, and it will be totally fine. Now, this set, even in the context of a speedrun, has a couple of problems. The main problem being that like weakness exploit just straight out loses to Agitator. Agitator uptime inside of a speedrun is really, really good. And Agitator can outdamage weakness exploit pretty easily, and even not considering that, this set is overcapping on crit when I'm hitting wounds anyways, so it would be okay to take weakness exploit out of the equation and run Agitator. If you're playing casually, your Agitator uptime probably pretty cheeks. The longer hunts go, the worse Agitator gets. So a variation of the set where you don't run ambush, because again, ambush is a speedrun only skill for the most part. You just max out your max might, and bam, you're at 90%. You don't have to rely on corrupted mantle to get your crit. This is going to be great for your average hunter. What are you going to put in this last 2 slot? I don't know. This is a blast set, so I'm going to probably run like, I don't know, destroyer for part breaker. Maybe I'll run counter for counter strike. I think I'm going to get hit or something like that. That's fine. If you're running an elemental set, you're like element matching. Because some monsters are weak to element. Arkveld's not. You can run Coalescence to get that extra little bit of damage in there. It's a Phoenix Jewel, right? So this is what most players should be running. What I'm considering switching to is something that looks more like this, because inside of the Agitator and Frenzy window, your damage is just absolutely bonkers. The set peaks like absurdly high. I've seen a couple other runners use variations of this set, so this is where I'm considering moving to and just taking Weakness Exploit out of the equation. If you're looking for more sets and ideas of how to build Sword and Shield, there's this fancy guide put together by some people at the Gathering Hub. These people right here, huge shout outs to them. This is a great guide. I think most of the logic in here is extremely sound, and you should really just be following this. They go through all their logic, and when you get down here, you can see here's the set I'm recommending. Here's a different set that's also pretty good. Here is a Fulgor set if you like the extra stamina that this brings to the table. Here is their version of a speedrun set. If you want to try doing your own speedruns, you could base it off this. This is a really great guide. I'll drop it in the description and you guys can have fun messing with all the sets yourselves. But now we need to start getting into the gameplay. And I say that, but I am forgetting one little thing real quick, and that would be this. This is the meal that I ate for this. You can get a better meal through like an all Harkin event. I don't know how to force trigger that. I'm not using mods to force trigger that. So I'm just eating the food out of my tent. This should be makes some sense. The only thing that's a little bit weird is the swimmer meal. I don't know how much damage this adds, but I'm going to be in the water in this arena, so we take those and we just kind of roll with it. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell me there's better food to eat. I don't know. Anyways, let's get to gameplay. You can see at the start, I already have some buffs up. Ignore the stamina bar. I was just spamming runs and I don't care about this. You can take your Mega Demon Drug and your Demon Powder and your Might Seed back at camp, and they'll just carry over into the quest with full uptime. So get in the habit of doing that if you're going to be doing speed runs. Another thing that you should keep in mind is that the swimmer meal is activating. I think that's what this mystery buff is. That could be a cat buff from a previous run. I just didn't notice. The cat can blow the horn and give you 10 to 15% extra damage. They can do it once every 10 minutes. It's random. If you get that in a speed run, congratulations, you hit the lottery. Keep doing that. If you didn't get it, consider cheating. So I don't have that as far as I'm aware. I think that's the swimmer meal. You can see it activated at the start, but I don't know. I'm stupid. Somebody in the comments can tell me. So the reason I chose this arena to do this in has nothing to actually do with the water and little swimmer's meal. This has to do with the fact it's a big open flat arena. It's pretty, so I thought it would look nice. I don't want any environmental things. I just want to practice doing more or less a freestyle run without the environmental stuff. If you want a more competitive time, there are spawns that are better than this in the Windward Plains. If you want to do environmentals, there's one where it spawns underneath some rocks. Drop the rocks on it, do an ambush attack as your opener, get a ton of damage. There's another one, we call it tree spawn, over in area 10. That one, you won't have environmental things going on, but you could get a sub spawn with small monster aggro, or you can get a sub spawn where you are just literally on top of the monster at the start of the quest, which saves off a significant amount of time. So those are more optimized. I'm just doing this run just to kind of show off and try to, create something I could teach people with. So that's why we're here. So open with a sneak attack. This procs ambush. Ambush is a massive damage steroid, and then we're gonna get into our opener. The opener I'm choosing to do here is suboptimal, but I want to do less hits to try to not proc my blast proc too soon. So we shield slide in, boom. I could do this from a different angle and then just chop combo straight into it, but I want less hits. The reason I want less hits is that if I blast proc this thing out of its roar, then I lose the roar, and that's really, really bad for my scripting. I could instead try to force the blast proc early before the roar animation starts and get a little bit of extra uptime with the monster, but that's somewhat inconsistent, so I'm just doing it this way. This is just how I chose to do it. You can optimize this a little bit more. And he's going to roar here. Boom. And we're going to go get into combos. So the combo you're going to see me be doing here is chop chop lateral lateral. The reason we really like this combo is that you can reposition with sidesteps on the initial chop and keep uptime really cleanly and put yourself hitting the right monster parts for whatever your script calls for. It's really nice. It also procs Corrupted Mantle. So when you're inside Corrupted Mantle, your Y/triangle attacks can get double hit procs. So you want to hit as many chops as you realistically can while maintaining uptime. This is a Corrupted Mantle consideration. If you're playing casually, your combos are going to be more based around using lateral. So like, B, B, Y plus B, circle, circle, triangle plus circle, things like that. But you still want to consider throwing chops in and using them because the repositioning is really nice, and they also have really big, generous cancel windows for you to like slide in a perfect guard or a sliding slash or things like that. And you're gonna see me be doing that a lot in this video. So there's our roar, proc offensive guard. We're starting to do combos, and I'm gonna start making my way over to this left wing. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to get a wing break pretty early in the run, probably right after the enrage roar, but that's unrealistic, but as soon as I can after that. So we're going to be stacking damage on this arm. The reason I chose this arm specifically is because you have better access to this arm with some of the moves he's going to be doing, or if you trigger a power clash. So, for example, a really, really good move for speedrunning is if he decides to do his command grab. He does a little spin and he picks you up and he like yells at you and then throws you. You can just keep chopping directly to the left, no rolls, no sliding slashes. If you're already slightly off center and to the left, that move just whiffs. It just won't hit you. So you can keep maintaining uptime and keep hitting this wing to be stacking damage on top of it in a move like that. There are a couple other moves where he kind of just like slams his arms down and like drags them backwards. Those are also really easy to dodge by just using chop movement or even just safety rolling. And you can maintain uptime on the arm and things like that. That's what we're trying to do here. That's what the script is basically centered around. So let's see what happens. All right. This is not a move we want to see. It's fine. We can perfect guard it. We'll end up behind him and then try to adjust what we're doing from there. Again, Monster Hunter has a lot of RNG in the runs based on how the monster is going to behave, so this is just part of it. And another part of the RNG that's not so great is that that move can trigger a power clash. So if you're unaware, power clash is basically like mounting. When the monster has its moves blocked, a little gauge fills up that you can't see. And when that gauge is full, the next move that you block that can trigger a power clash puts you into a power clash. Now, power clashing is generally damage negative. So unless it's going to be a bad position regardless, we don't really want to be power clashing. So a little unfortunate to be put in this position early, but it's okay. You have to take what you get with RNG and just see if the run plays out in other ways that are great for you. So we're behind him. The adjustment I could make is I could move over to this wing arm, but I'm choosing to stay centered to try to bait a tail attack out of him. The tail attacks, he'll spin when he does them and give you quite a bit of uptime on the wings. You also get to proc offensive guard for free off it. It's kind of nice. But I know that with the amount of damage I've done, he's going to do the enrage roar here. The enrages are basically like set around damage thresholds, so keeping an eye on how much damage you're doing and where that's going to be is really important. So see, there's that roar. Boom, we perfect guard it. We're just going to be trying to hit the tail to get any semblance of damage on it on a weak zone and keep trying to see if we could bait a tail move. But we actually get quite lucky. And the luck here is that he's turning around and doing a different move that's going to allow us to maintain better uptime. So we get this big double chain slam. I don't think this one can trigger power clash. I've never done it. So we can perfect guard this, not go into a power clash, get our offensive guard up, and go back to hitting that wing. And that's exactly what we're doing. And when we're off center, he has a higher chance to do moves like this, and that's that wing drag I was talking about. I could have avoided this without rolling and maintained my maximum might, and also just had better uptime, but I did this for safety. The maximum might downtime, like it hurts, but like whatever. Again, I'm trying to maintain the run rather than it be perfect. So here we go. Back to hitting this wing arm. So this wing arm's getting pretty weak. I'm looking for that break here soon. And we're going to get this attack. This attack's not great. I know that this is going to trigger a power clash the moment I block it, but that has a couple of upsides. Here we go. We're in that power clash. And the upside is that I am in offensive guard buff window and I can hit this wing really cleanly. I can't hit this wing. Now you see why I focus on this wing. A lot of moves just kind of line up this way with this monster. So this splits across the head, across the arm. It's fine. It's whatever. I don't actually want to break this right away. I want to see what the next move he's going to do is and try to hit him out of it. If he tries to fly, I can dunk him by breaking the arm. If he does a grounded move, I can just put him directly on the floor by breaking the arm. But I need to see what that move is. It's this little slash move. It's whatever. We break it, and now he's down. So once that arm is broken, I can start stacking damage on the right arm, and I want to time that break somewhere around his charge up roar, and that's the game plan. Now right here, I keep hitting his head, which is a little annoying, but that's okay, because if I do too much damage to his arm, that's going to end up being a problem. But we eventually get moved over and do the arm. So here's a mistake I make. I keep doing the chop chop lateral combo. I should be doing charge chop at some point in here. Finishing a spinning reaper to charge chop is DPS positive, but I wasn't really sure of how my positioning was going to work out so that I could actually get all that damage into his wing instead of into his face. And I also wasn't quite confident with the timing of the knockdown to make sure I'd get that off safely and get back to dealing damage. So that's why I get a little sloppy here. But we get lucky. He does this little headbutt. This is just a free offensive guard proc. I don't have to worry about power clash anymore. That's already passed. All right. So right here, you can keep trying to hit him as he goes up on these. If I get a blast proc, if I get a flinch, if I break the arm, this is a dunk. And then I get to just slide slash up to him and keep dealing a ton of damage. That'd be wonderful. It's a bit of a Hail Mary. Proc our offensive guard here. Now that I've procced the offensive guard, I need to get back to that right wing. And I know from this positioning that this is what's going to be occurring. So rather than just like, turning the brain off and then just perfect guarding this and try to keep damage on this, you can instead slide slash, use the invuln from this to get over, and position myself back on this other arm to try to get the break. Now, I'm pretty confident this arm is about to break, and if I can get it before the charge up roar, we're really happy with that because it means I can go into the charge up without having to think about overlapping breaks and flinches and things like that. So that's what we're looking for, and that's what we get. We're pretty happy with that. And now we're back on his face. So at this point, I should be doing, again, a charge chop combo in order to capitalize on my damage. Learn from my mistakes, play better than me, okay? I'm just locked in and just going off muscle memory to keep this combo up. But I can be building a pretty nice little extra amount of damage by doing that combo. This is some of my inexperience with the weapon coming through so far. But we're still getting this damage. And when he stands up, we know he's going to go into this charge up roar. Again, a lot of these are based off damage thresholds, so you can be fairly confident when they're going to be occurring, and we've dealt like a monstrous amount of damage to him. So we're going to adjust our combo slightly to better time the perfect guard here. You see me just slow down and change the moves up a little bit. Boom, get the perfect guard. Now we have our offensive guard back up, and we're going to go back to hitting chains. If you deal enough damage to chains, they'll explode, the monster's going to flinch, we're going to get a ton of free damage off that. Let's see, working on this chain. I see the startup of this double slam. This is really easy to perfect guard. Boom, I can perfect guard it. I'm still in position, I'm not worried about power clash, this is totally fine. Boom, get a flinch. I think that's a blast prog. I don't know, somebody can tell me if I'm wrong. And there's that little pop I'm talking about when you deal enough damage during his charge up mode. So that's a ton of free damage. Now at this point, the monster's probably really close to dead, and I'm just thinking about capping it. If I see a move I don't like, I want to react with a flash pod. But I see he's doing a tail swipe. Again, real easy to perfect guard. Get some free damage up just to make sure that this monster's going to die. Go for the dunk. Didn't quite get it. I want to perfect guard this and then hit counter slash and then slide slash up the arm. Just because the distance is really bad. Normally you just want to slide slash this and get closer right away, but I don't know. This is a mistake I made. And he just can't aim, so whatever. At this point, my cat's yelling, hey, you should really cap this monster. And I'm like, I should really cap this monster. So we throw down the flash, get the shock trap out, and that's the end of the hunt. So pretty straightforward what the game plan was. Just stack your perfect guards up. Try not to over rely on it. Use the positioning to get the wing breaks. And then play around those different damage break points across the hunt. And you can have a really clean Arkveld pretty simply. And that's about all I've got for you today. You can see the time. You can see my rewards. And yeah. So thanks for watching. I hope this helps you out. And maybe I'll do another run soon. So see you next time.